I'm Molly.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Jen.
And welcome to Folks Forever, a Lois and Clark rewatch podcast.
We're three fans who've been loving LNC since 1993.
Each week we'll recap one episode and talk about at least one LNC-related topic.
If you would like to learn more about who we are, how we became folks, and or how we became friends, check out our intro episode.
Today we're going to be discussing Season 2, Episode 1, Madam X. We'll also be talking about those next week on promos that we used to watch at the end of the episodes and think about, what's happening next week?
Oh my goodness!
Madam X first aired on September 18th, 1994. Some new shows debuted around that time. Some of them you may have heard of, some not. These included Friends, ER, The Boys Are Back, Chicago Hope, My So-Called Life, Party of Five, On Our Own, Earth 2, The Marshal, In the House, Me and the Boys, New York Undercover, and All American Girl. Also touched by an angel, but I'm leaving that out.
Yay, Friends! I like Friends too. Who doesn't like Friends?
Yay, Friends is so good.
And they filmed on the same lot as Lois and Clark. And so did
Yes,
ER.
they did. I liked ER early on, and then I kind of lost interest. Did you guys watch that?
I watched it around like 96 for a while.
Yeah.
And I was finally allowed to like stay up late when I was like 16. Before that, I wasn't allowed to stay up and watch it. But another thing that happened around that time was The Simpsons, which aired over on Fox and had been airing, I believe, Thursday or Friday nights, moved to Sunday nights against Lois and Clark. Competition from The Simpsons. We still were against Sequest and Murder, She Wrote for the time being. Every Lois and Clark episode had a title. Madam X is a play on Madam Letter X, which is a phrase used for a woman who's mysterious or who, doesn't have an identity where they don't know her last name. There have been movies called Madam X. There was a Madonna album. There was a band. There was a play. There was even a famous painting called Madam X. Now, our Madam X is actually Madam EX, as in X, former something. Spoilers. Oh, I'm sure you guys have all seen this episode, right? She is the ex-wife of somebody, okay? So, Madam EX, she is mysterious, and she is an ex-wife. Clever titling there, I say. I'm sure we all have some really strong memories regarding this episode. I know that I do, because this was right after, the summer of 94 when I had become a folk, and I was like, this is my favorite show. This was the first new episode that I got to watch after being like, I am a fan now. And I was so excited. And it was everything I wanted. I was watching it. I was one of the first people to ever see this episode. And it was great. However, I did not realize this until the episodes went to TNT 3 years later. My tape was missing like the first 2 minutes of the episode. And I never noticed.
Oh, no.
Well, technically, it was missing.
Oh, no.
So the episode actually is going to start with a previously on Lois and Clark thing. This is not on streaming anymore, but it was when it aired, a whole thing about how the Daily Planet got destroyed and all that. And we'll post a video of this on our social so you guys can see it too. That's how the episode began, with a recap. And then it begins, well, we'll get into it, but I was missing about 45 seconds of the actual episode, meaning my tape never said that she was Mrs. Luther. I found that out along with Lois and Clark as the episode went on. I have many instances of that happening, with the beginnings getting cut off tape. So that's one of my memories. How about you, Jen?
I just remember that newness feeling to this episode, and I still watch it and I get that deja vu feeling, kind of like it was just this new exciting thing. I remember being really intrigued with the new Jimmy, and I was frustrated that they had gotten rid of Michael, but I was so excited that Dean and Teri were back on my screen. And this guy was cute, so, he was helping the story along. I was just excited to see my characters back on the screen, even if it wasn't the old Jimmy, and I was kind of intrigued with Justin Whalen. So Michael was a little sacrifice, and if I was getting my show back, I was happy. So it took like 0.2 seconds for me to really get excited about the new season. I was thrilled. That's my memory.
How about you, Julie?
For me, this one, I have a very specific memory. I remember begging my mother to let me stay home because we always went to church on Sunday evenings, and I wanted to stay home because I was so afraid we would get home late because occasionally I would miss the first few minutes of an episode because we'd get home too late, and I did not want to miss this because it was the very first episode. But of course I lost. I had to go to church. But we made it home in time. I got to see it. I was so excited. The new Jimmy, I was like, I don't know about this guy, but I was going to give him a chance. I was just really excited that it was back. I was really excited when the title started rolling and you get to see all those new little clips, the little snippets here and there of, ooh, this is going to happen and what's going on here, and just excitement all around.
Before we get into our more detailed discussion of Madam X, we'll be giving our very own summaries in 16 words or less. And today we start with Jen.
All right. Mine is Lois has a double, Lex has an X, and Jimmy has a new face.
I like it. I didn't even think about putting something in about Jimmy's new face. That's funny. Two new faces. One has Lois's and some other random Jimmy.
Yep.
Mine is Lex's previously unknown ex tries to ruin Lois, kill Superman, and bring back her love. Which, Lex.
Bleh, no. Keep him dead. No, just kidding.
Cute.
Mine is a psychiatrist who turns out to be Lex's ex creates a Lois double to seek revenge.
Nice. Good job, guys.
To the point.
Yeah, that's something we're definitely going to have to talk about throughout this episode. I mean, she's going after Superman and Lois for revenge on Lex dying, which was not their fault.
Exactly.
At all.
She thinks it is.
Well, I don't get how.
I know.
Especially since it's been 10 years. 10 years, lady. It's time to give up. Move
that
on.
must have been, well, anyway.
As we explained in our season 2 preview episode, we had to make up our own episode titles during the first 2 seasons so that we could label our VHS tapes. My fake title for this episode was nothing too spectacular, but it was season 2, 2 Loises. What about you, Jen?
I don't remember. I think I just called it like season 2 premiere. Yeah, Madam X season premiere. I called it season premiere.
Straight and to the point. And I called it Double Lois.
Nice.
Not Double Fudge Crunch Bar, Double Lois. Madam X was written by Tony Blake and Paul Jackson, who previously wrote the first season episode, The Rival. Madam X was directed by Randall Zisk, who previously directed Strange Visitor, Requiem for a Superhero, and Batman.
All right. Guest stars for this episode include Emma Sams, who played Arianna Carlin. She is best known for General Hospital, Dynasty, and Goliath Awards. She had a recognizable face to me too, but I never watched any of those shows.
Emma Sams, 2 things about Emma Sams. One, she was in a movie that I absolutely adored as a kid and that we had on tape for a couple years before somebody taped over it. It was the 1989 TV movie A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, starring Keisha Knight Pulliam and the dad from Family Ties as King Arthur and Emma Sams as Queen Guinevere.
All right.
And I would watch it over and over. So, but by the time this episode aired, we hadn't had it on tape for a couple years. So I did not recognize Emma Sams from that, even though I loved that movie. However, like a week before this episode aired, she guest starred on this other show we used to watch called Dave's World, where she played herself. So there was this all like, Emma Sams from Dynasty, Emma Sams from Dynasty. And then a week later, she shows up on Lois and Clark, and I'm like, I know who that is because of last week. Yay!
Wow.
I finally know who someone is.
That's funny.
Anyway, Emma Sams.
Wow. She was peaking at that moment in time. That's cool. We also have Thomas Ryan played Detective Ryder. He is best known for The Relic, The Principal, and Summer School. And he also did a couple of episodes of the show 24, if you remember that one.
Also for Thomas Ryan, I want to mention that he played Detective Ryder in this episode, but he played Detective Burke in I'm Looking Through You. So he's back as a detective with a different name.
No.
Ah, I did not
Why
catch
did
that.
why didn't they just give him the same name?
No. No.
That's weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Two detectives with two names. But
Yeah.
hey,
Maybe they're twins and one
maybe,
decided to, I don't
Separated
know.
at birth.
There's a lot of evil twins in this
maybe.
world, so
There's a
maybe
lot of, yeah, doubles
There you
right
go.
there.
doubles.
Could be a double.
Denise Crosby played Dr. Gretchen Kelly. She is best known for Pet Cemetery, Miracle Mile, Dolly Dearest, Deep Impact. She did 10 episodes of General Hospital and a number of episodes of Suits with
Oh,
Meghan
you gotta
Markle.
mention Star Trek.
Okay, Star Trek. I don't follow
Yes.
Star Trek, but you did you watch her on Star Trek?
Yes, she was on season 1 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Her character was kind of and then they killed her off, but then they brought her back as like, I don't remember how they did it. It was time travel or like a clone. I don't remember, but they got to bring her back. Anyway,
Oh, cool.
shout out.
Well,
I mean, she was on Teri's
well,
episode, I believe.
yeah. All right. We also have Earl Bowen. I think that's how you say his name. Played Dr. Heller. He is best known for the Terminator series, Naked Gun 33 and a Third, The Final Insult, and The Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps. I never watched any of those.
I remember him in Alf. He was Willie's boss.
Okay, cool.
To give some Alf knowledge.
Jack Crushen played Captain Keen. He is best known for The Apartment, The War of the Worlds, The Angry Red Planet, and The Last Voyage. And most importantly, he played Papuli Kotsopoulos on Full House.
R.I.P.
I knew you were going to mention that. I knew it.
Rest in peace, Papuli.
His episode where his character passed away had just been on that previous spring in
Oh,
94.
wow.
That had just happened.
Oh.
So of course I recognized him like, oh, Papuli, you're alive.
You survived.
And you're kind of a jerk now.
Yeah. Why did you
Yeah.
survive? Barry Livingston played Sheldon Bender. He's best known for The Adventures of Cliff Booth, Looking Through Water, War Dogs, Argo, My Three Sons, and Jersey Boys. He has a lot of one-offs. He was in 3 episodes of Lois and Clark. This one, season 2, episode 3, The Source, and season 2, episode 13, The Phoenix. That's such a good
Yay.
one. And the last one I'll mention is Julie Ariskog, played Sandy Martin. She is best known for Seven, Outbreak, and Freeway.
Okay, well, I found out about her because I was like, she looks familiar. And yeah, she's been on LNC before too.
How
She
did I
was
miss
in
that?
Witness at the
Witness.
press conference asking Barbara
Hmm.
Trevino, like, what's it like being the first woman in your position?
I missed the whole
There are so
let's
many of these people that have been
oh
on
my
twice.
gosh. Wow.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Traylor Howard, who I believe was Traylor Hall at the time. She played the secretary and she was in Monk and what I know her best from, Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Oh, I
I
remember
liked
that
that
show.
show. Yeah.
Well,
Just
if we're going to mention her, we also have to mention Jessica Hecht or Heish.
The Friends girl.
Yes, she was the Carol's wife on Friends. So these are like two
oh,
very iconic young women of sitcoms that after Lois and Clark, they got pretty famous.
bigger.
Hmm.
Mhm. And she played the girl who's like, who would ever like Lex Luthor? Oh, sorry, Lois.
That's
Sorry,
right.
Lois.
Oh, yeah. Walking around with a guy
Yeah,
gossiping and not doing work.
And we should probably mention
pretty
this is
much.
our I should look him up. What's his name though? If you guys know, just say it though. Our first glimpse of the Daily Planet staffer guy who finally gets some more lines, for a staffer. It's really amazing. Joe Auckman. Joe
That's
Auckman was the
right.
name of the actor. He plays
Oh,
male
yeah.
staffer. He's in this one. I know he's in Target Jimmy Olsen, That Old Gang of Mine, maybe another one. But it's always fun when they have some consistency and some continuity.
He
Holy
does a lot
moly.
of voice. I
Oh,
know he
okay.
does a lot of voice work because I looked him up and it said that he was one of the voices in Penguin Highway, which is an anime movie. I love that movie. It's so cute.
Huh.
So,
Never
but
seen.
he's done a lot. His IMDb is
Ooh.
massive.
He was also in Don't Tug on Superman's Cape. I don't remember that one specifically. I mean, his part specifically in that one. Okay, have
It
we?
also
Oh,
it also says that Tony Blake, who's a supervising producer, is also like an extra in this episode, just a pedestrian on the street.
Oh,
I was
I
trying to
did.
find him.
wow.
I didn't see him, but
I did see a few extras looking at the camera in this episode, so I'm not gonna place blame
I'll
or
need to
Tony.
go back and look again. I've gotten a few things from him over the years. I have his crew fanny pack.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, I didn't recognize him in the pedestrian that I was looking at. So I'll have to go back and look again.
All right, let's get into the episode. So we open season 2 at one of Lex's buildings. A doctor is escorting a beautiful woman back through the hallways. She is asking about how the operation went. The doctor responds favorably, calling her Mrs. Luther. She's clearly not happy, though, stating that she hasn't been Mrs. Luther for 10 years.
Don't ever call me that again. I'm Arianna Carlin.
Of course.
So, well, now that is established, they walk into a room and remove some bandages off of a woman. It is Teri Hatcher in a blonde wig.
So I have a question here.
Uh-huh.
Were we supposed to originally think this was going to be Lex before the bandages come off? Was that or no? I never got that while watching it, but when I read the script, it came off that way. Like it was
Oh.
supposed to
Oh.
be like, oh, is it going to be Lex? No, it's Lois.
Like I said, my
Uh,
episode began with the bandages coming off, so I had no buildup. I don't know.
Uh-huh. I don't remember ever thinking that it would have been Lex. I thought Lex was completely out of the picture, and the fact that he came back at all, was set up to possibly return was news to me. So
right, me too.
I don't
That's
know.
why. Yeah, that's why when I was reading the script, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Was I supposed to think it was going to be Lex because it was Lex's, wife or whatever?
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
But
Interesting.
or maybe they changed it or it just didn't come off very well. Who knows?
Yeah.
I want to know why she's all mad about being called Mrs. Lex Luthor or Mrs. Luthor if she has such a, as we learn later, she has such a crush on that man. Why wouldn't
Yeah,
she
wouldn't
want to be?
she
She'd be
love
like,
that?
I
oh,
know.
yes.
Thanks.
Yes, I am Mrs. Luther. Thanks for
Thanks for remembering.
Yeah, she's like one of those girls who just writes, Mrs. Lex Luthor in her notebook or on her shoes. But
heart.
no, don't ever call me that again. All right, sure, lady.
That is weird. I didn't think about that. That is very
Yeah.
weird because wouldn't she let her? Hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe it's painful because she's really
Maybe.
not.
She wants to win him back the right way.
Uh,
Is this
Maybe.
the right way?
No.
I don't
Sure
know. Okay. Sure.
So the scientist says once her hair is dyed, even her own mother won't be able to tell them apart. Dr. Carlin calls him brilliant, but then she whips out her pistol and kills him. And then we get our new opening credits.
Yay,
Just like-
opening credits.
There are some clips in here that go away after a couple of episodes. Most particularly the one behind, starring Teri Hatcher, because they show her after the Kurth Awards, and that was later on they used her scene from The Source instead. So I was like, oh, they're trying to figure out the theme song here, and they weren't totally sure. Or somebody
Or
at the
she
network
didn't.
was like, that's a terrible.
That's a terrible one. Don't use that. Maybe she didn't like it. Who knows?
Exactly. I don't think it's her best look, honestly. So
It's
yeah,
not the best look. So yeah, I didn't really like her hair up in that episode, but maybe that's just me.
I loved it.
But that's also season 1. It did not say starring Teri Hatcher. It said starring Dean Cain, Teri Hatcher. This one says starring Dean Cain, starring Teri Hatcher. And I think she probably pushed for that and said, it's got to say starring because it is starring me too.
Yeah. I don't blame her for that. I feel like
No.
it's such a female-driven like show. She should be equal billing. She shouldn't come after Dean. She should be like Lois and Clark. It's Lois first and Clark. So
Exactly.
I agree. So now we're listening to a radio broadcast about Superman not saving Lex while some construction workers are hard at work. One worker is walking along a beam carrying a long piece of wood, and he hears his name, swings around, and bumps the other guy sitting down on the job. He's not working, so maybe this is deserved. I don't know. The guy sitting
Like
down.
having lunch.
I know.
Gosh.
What if he's on the clock? I don't know. He falls forward.
He
And my
deserves to
favorite-
die.
My favorite part is the guy who did it runs to the edge and then yells down, "Sorry!"
Sorry. Like, what? Oh.
I mean, I don't know. Why?
At least he's sorry. At least he's not
He's
like,
sorry.
"Ha."
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you deserved it. You should have been working.
I know. Sitting down on the job. I'll get you.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a crowd gathering at the bottom of the construction site, and they're pointing up, and Superman swoops in and saves the day. The crowd erupts in anger, questioning him why he didn't save Lex.
You know what I think? You save who you want to save. You call yourself Superman? I think you think you're super god.
I don't really get like the whole crowd was angry with him. Definitely that one guy is, and there is a guy who's making like a rude sign, you know. But they also this is the scene where the extras either had some really bad direction, which I can understand because sometimes they don't, you don't get great direction if the director says, "Hey, everybody point up and look in awe," and then they do that, but that doesn't look good. I mean, there's especially one lady with like reddish hair who's just going like throughout the whole time. You can't see the whole
Looking all over,
podcast,
yeah.
but she's moving around, she's mouthing stuff you can't see, and it looks completely ridiculous. And then the angry guy like pushes her out of the way, and a regular person when being pushed out of the way by someone might have a reaction to that, and instead she just looks like a puppet or something being like, "Well, I guess I'll go over
No.
here." Very distracting. I'm just saying, I don't.
This is coming from a professional extra. Molly has been an extra in a number
listen,
of scenes, so
I get it. Sometimes they don't give you the greatest, like, your motivation. Plus, they don't care about you.
they
You're
don't.
just back there. They might change the lines of the dialogue in the script and not bother to tell you and still have
Yeah.
you doing what they asked you to do 20 minutes ago. However, these extras are a little extra.
you are there to serve
is
a
all.
purpose. You're not to talk to anyone or look the wrong way or they don't tell you what to do.
You're really not supposed to be noticed at all. So if you're being
Yeah.
noticed, something's going awry. So
I got a comment about a line that's in the script that I'm glad they cut because it's ridiculous. When Superman rescues the guy, he goes, "You've just given new meaning to the phrase beam me down."
Beam. Oh, that's
Okay.
a little dark though.
Superman says that to the man who got hit in the head and knocked down.
Yes.
Superman.
Superman
I
got
was like,
jokes.
what?
It
Superman's got
tracks
some
with some of his
jokes.
other actions in this episode, but what the heck? I guess they had to make a Star Trek reference.
I guess, maybe. What did you guys think about the little nice music score with the guitar riff when he was like flying down?
I don't think
Did
I
you-
I
noticed
didn't
not
that.
notice the
catch that?
guitar riff, but I like the music. And there's some good music throughout this episode.
I feel like this is the only episode they've used that in. I'm gonna have to listen for that. They use it again in this episode.
Okay,
But-
when he's flying over the field,
I think
Okay.
so.
it's really nice.
But yeah, it's used a couple times in this episode where it's got this little electric guitar kind of riff going through the music. It's very different than what they ever did in the first season. But I don't
Huh.
feel like they do it again. But I could be wrong.
We'll listen.
Not even in Wall of Sound.
Wake my
Maybe.
children.
But it was when he rescued her, it was like, no, 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 no. Like, okay, here we
Yeah, it's like
go.
we're
Rescue.
back. We're back with a new Daily Planet and a cooler song.
We're cool. They were
New
They were
Jimmy.
really trying to appeal to the younger crowd, like with the new Jimmy and then the rock music was these,
Yeah, totally.
we'll get the young guys and the young girls. Here we go.
Mm.
Okay, so we are in the newsroom. Lois is pouring her coffee into her Daily Planet mug. It appears everyone is talking about how Superman didn't save Lex. There it is. There's the mug. Oh, it's so cool.
I had to bring out the mug for today.
I
Like,
love
yay,
it.
it's my mug. I love this
That's her mug. Do you know, did they use that same, is it like the one mug or do you think they had multiple on set?
Oh,
Probably.
they had multiple. They had multiple
Okay.
for sure.
Got it. So anyway, this news is the talk of the town. It's heated, people are debating, and Lois overhears people talking or asking how anyone could even like him, as in Lex. And then here comes Jimmy. He's wearing a button-up red and black flannel shirt with a white tee underneath. His sleeves are rolled up. He's got the 90s teen heartthrob haircut.
And he's wearing a brand new face.
He's wearing a brand new face. It is Justin Whalen, everyone. Molly's got opinions. Please share.
I don't
Uh-oh.
like sudden changes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when nobody's asked me what I think about it, which of course they didn't call me on the phone. Like, excuse me, fan, what do you think about this? I don't
How
like
dare
how they
they?
just no, I don't like how they just integrate him and we're just supposed to accept it. It's jarring. It's jarring. It's like when I go to work, somebody's sick in your other department, and then they pull you to work in that department. They're like, "You're going to work over here now." I'm just like, "No, no." You
Mm-hmm.
have to give me
That's
some
not
warning
right.
before I can accept this change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel about Jimmy. Now, I also think Justin takes a minute to relax into his role. I feel like he's a little different in this episode than he will later be. He seems a little bit more with it,
Mm-hmm.
and they later on kind of make him a little more fumbling. So I don't think they've quite established who he is or what he's going to be acting like going forward. So not only is it like this, it's jarring. It was jarring for me then. It's sometimes even jarring for me now, knowing where he ends up going. Oh, he seems kind of competent at his job, and he's not. Okay.
What did you think, Julie? Did you have opinions on this or no?
I didn't hate him. I know that a lot of folks at the time were completely against him. Completely. I don't think I even had a preference. I don't remember caring, honestly.
Yeah.
I was just more curious. I didn't really care that much about the Jimmy character in the beginning anyway. It was just Lois and Clark for me, really. And the other characters were just other. They were the other guys.
Same.
Get back to Lois and Clark. I don't care. But he did grow on me. I liked Michael. I kind of missed Michael a little bit. I do remember that, but I didn't care that, too much that he was gone. Because it was just not an important character to me.
All right. Well, Jimmy points out an article that says that 20% of Metropolis is anti-Superman, even though they couldn't really give a reason.
I swear we are witnessing the dumbing down of America. People with opinions who have no idea why they even have opinions.
Okay. And then if you listen closely, you hear the modem dialing up to the internet, flashback.
Yep.
But Lois is frustrated with the technology. Some guy in the newsroom says that it's a fax connected to her computer. Apparently, she doesn't know how to check her email. It's this big thing. Just then, Clark walks in and says, "Good morning." Jimmy points out the news article, and Perry walks out asking what they're doing there and that they should be covering the murder of the plastic surgeon at Lex Labs. Clark responds with,
"Sorry, Chief. I was a little late getting in this morning. I had a problem dropped on me."
Perry's like,
"Oh, it's not a lie. It's not a lie, though."
Person to catch, I think he was trying to say.
The new owner of the Daily Planet is worried about stress amongst the office, so the Daily Planet now has a staff psychiatrist. Clark and Lois start to squabble about it, and Perry shuts it down. Some columnist is going to be the psychiatrist. It's worth noting that Perry has not read the column. Otherwise, he'd be, well, we'll get there. But whatever. This column is selling papers. So Lois wonders out loud how we even know that she's a real doctor, since half of these media shrinks are frauds. Dr. Carlin saunters in saying, "Oh, I'm a real doctor, Miss Lane."
Of course, I was talking about the other half.
The announcement wraps up, and Dr. Carlin walks over to Lois, telling her that she is especially excited to work with Lois.
Dr. Carlin, a lot of people have tried to get me on a couch, and after all this time, I don't think I'm going to start with a psychiatrist.
In my experience, it's the people who say they're fine that need help the most.
Excuse me. Have work to do.
I love how Clark is looking over at Lois, knowing that she needs to talk to some like psychiatrist, and Lois just gives him the dirtiest look.
I
It's
know.
hilarious.
Watching it this time, it kind of made me a little angry because everybody's pointing to Lois. Now, obviously, we know that Arianna Carlin is gaslighting Lois and trying to make everyone think that she is going to have a breakdown.
Mhm.
It's true that they've gone through a lot, but Lois and Clark have both gone through a lot, and Clark is like, nothing wrong with me. Lois, I'm worried about you. I'm like, dude,
Yep.
you almost lost the woman you love. You almost died. Yeah, this and that and this and that. Maybe you also could get some help. You're not too, I'm too strong for that or whatever. But like, stop looking at Lois. Come on.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I agree. So now Clark and Lois are walking in an alley, and Lois is venting about Dr. Carlin. Clark is basically saying that she's being silly and eventually calls out the candy bars in her drawer, which kind of makes me laugh, even though it's rude. Lois points out some graffiti on the side of a building that reads, "Superman tyranny over people." Clark points out that it's an acrostic, where the first letter of every word spells out STOP, or stop. They move on into an alley, looking at the dumpsters, and just then someone bolts out of there and starts to run, because they're looking for clues, basically, to figure out who killed the plastic surgeon. Clark runs after him, grabs an old tire, and flings it in the air, wrangling him like a steer in the Pendleton Roundup. He then runs up to the guy, takes the tire off to make sure he's okay, and then Lois runs up.
How'd you catch him?
Hey. He got, tired.
But I'm
And I noticed the acrostic is in the background in several places, and I think that they should change it to Superman tyranny over people? Superman tires over people. He's knocking out poor homeless
clever.
people with
Yeah.
100-pound
poor guy.
tires. This man. Why?
That would have hurt.
That could have killed him.
Can you imagine getting hit with a tire?
No. The fact that
Let's
it went
chase
over his
him.
head and fell like perfectly. That would
Yeah, he
still
could have
hurt.
just
even if
ran
it-
after him.
Superman tyranny indeed over poor people in
Happens.
alleyways. Goodness.
The guy had to have been like, what the heck just happened?
I know. He didn't call him out or anything. He was just like,
I know.
I'll give you
Huh?
information.
Maybe it's not
Okay.
the first time a tire has randomly found its way around.
True.
Oh, living in the alley, it'll happen. Oh.
Ain't got no
Ugh.
clothes on.
No, it's not that guy. Although this guy,
Not that guy. No.
did you guys see this guy had a collection too?
He
On
did.
his
He had
hat, he had a
buttons.
whole ton of like buttons.
Oh,
Yeah. I was
I
trying
couldn't
to read
what they
them.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't make it out. That could be your
Hey.
costume next year.
next year it's on.
You're
Button.
the button guy.
That'd be pretty easy.
Button guy with a tire
Button.
all the way around me.
Wear the tire.
That would be really uncomfortable, guys. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, just do an inner tube or something.
Yeah, there you go. So Lois and Clark start asking the guy if he knows anything about the body that was found in the dumpster. The guy looks freaked out, and honestly, I would be freaked out too. Clark encourages Lois to get out some money, which is kind of funny because she's like, well, why do I have to do it? He's like, well, I'm holding the guy.
When he wasn't.
He wasn't holding him at all. He's just
wasn't.
holding his hands out like, oh, I'm, whatever. Nice try, Clark. Lois ends up getting out some money, and the guy says that, yeah, he saw two chicks dumping a body. Clark asks if he saw either one, and the guy responds,
It was her.
and he points to Lois. Obviously, that throws them both for a loop because why would it be Lois Lane doing this bad thing, dumping a body?
I feel like we're gonna get the Lois and Clark paying their sources quite a bit this season. I think this is the first time we've seen
I
it.
think so. And I was trying to figure out what denomination she gave the guy. I could not tell.
Me neither.
Could you? Okay.
No.
What kind of money was worth that information to the guy? What?
She had another one sticking out of her wallet. I was surprised he didn't just grab that one too. But
I know. I know. She looks at both and she's like, she puts one back. She's like, no,
yeah,
this is good enough
she's
for
like,
you.
"You can't have both of them."
Nah.
So, cut to the city council honoring Superman, but there's also a protest going on for Superman to leave Metropolis. People are being interviewed on the news about how Superman picks and chooses who he saves, giving Lex Luthor as a prime example. Just then, Lois, quote unquote, walks up to the reporter.
I was there when Lex Luthor died. I prayed Superman would save him, but for some reason he decided not to. I think the citizens of Metropolis have a right to ask, isn't Lex Luthor's blood on Superman's hands?
The camera cuts back to Arianna Carlin, waiting for, quote unquote, Lois in the alley. She is unhappy, Arianna, with the performance and goes to hit her, but Lois stops her with her left hand.
See what you just did? You used your left hand to protect yourself. And in front of the cameras, you used your left hand to push your hair back. How many times do I have to tell you Lois Lane is right-handed? Sorry.
This always bothered me because you fellow ladies can tell me, do you ever only just use one hand to push both sides back? Because I don't.
Oh,
No.
I'm
Whichever hand's
constantly using my
closest,
left hand.
or whichever hand
Yeah.
you're not holding something in right then. It's not like, oh, I
Yeah.
only touch my face with my right hand. My left hand stays down and proper. Like, what? What is
This
even?
hand flops around on my side, not doing a darn thing.
Yeah, nope. I use both.
Yeah.
But we have to have some way to know which one is the fake Lois. She's the left-handed one.
So the Lois lookalike says,
It won't happen again.
Ariana admits.
People are so easily manipulated.
And then she goes on to say that Lois and Superman will wish they'd never betrayed Lex Luthor. Cut to commercial break.
Dun dun dun.
So Lois is now walking into the Daily Planet. She approaches a little retail gift shop and asks if the guy got her order. He slides over a case of double Fudge Crunch bars. I love this little ongoing thing of Lois with her chocolate.
It's a lot of chocolate.
It's a lot of chocolate. And the guy who gives it to her goes, by the way, I'm with you 100%. Go get him. Lois has completely no idea what he's talking about. Politeness takes over and she's just like, sure. Yeah, okay. She dumps the chocolate bars in her bag and carries on with her morning. But she is getting scowls, kind of starting to notice it. She meets up with Clark in the lobby and asks if she looks okay. And his response is adorable. He goes, always. And he's like smiling as he says it. And he goes,
So cute.
yeah.
So
And he goes,
cute.
why? And she just
Aw.
says that people are looking at her funny.
I think we should. Julie, do you not want to mention the newspaper?
I was waiting.
Go for it.
Did you? I'm assuming Molly noticed, but Jen, did you notice the newspaper that Lois hung over Ariana? Is it Ariana or Ariana? It's Ariana, right?
Harry.
Does it
Yeah, it
matter?
rhymes with Harry.
It's Ari.
Ariana.
So she puts a newspaper over Ariana's sign at that shop thing,
Mhm.
gift,
New-
you
yeah,
said gift shop
newsstand.
or whatever, newsstand or
Yeah.
whatever that is. It said fruit fly spraying. So it is
Oh,
the paper from Pheromone
Pheromone.
My Lovely.
That's an old paper.
I know.
Interesting.
So they used Pheromone My Lovely's newspaper to cover Ariana's sign.
Unless they're doing another fruit fly spraying.
It could be, but also it's just-
Maybe.
I think it's just a little Easter egg. I think
Yeah.
they were like, "No, maybe no one will recognize this, but some fans will, and it'll be funny."
Maybe it's a yearly fruit fly spraying is hard to say. Fruit fly
Fruit fly
spraying.
spraying. Fruit fly spraying. Say that 5 times fast. So Clark responds with, have a little paranoia with your coffee this morning, Lois? And they do their little friendship flirt thing into the elevator. Clark mentions that he was at the police station last night and some guy asked for her phone number, and Lois jokes that she's only interested in one guy in blue. The elevator doors close and people are glaring in at her in the elevator. So after they get off the elevator, people are still staring at her and giving her looks. Jimmy comes up and says,
Just want you to know, What you did took a lot of guts.
Then Clark and Lois walk up to Perry, standing next to Dr. Carlin, and he asks what she was thinking with that stunt she pulled last night. Lois has no idea what he's talking about. Perry says that she was on the news, and Lois denies it and says,
Of course not. I was home eating chocolate. Cottage cheese. Chocolate-flavored cottage cheese. It's new flavor. I was doing my laundry.
Lois, you come with me, dear.
It's so cute. Chocolate-flavored cottage cheese sounds absolutely disgusting.
it 100% does. Gross. But I'm sure that it's out there somewhere.
It probably is.
The whole thing with this was that in the 90s, for a while, cottage cheese was considered a health food because, like, if you were just eating that and like some peaches or something for a meal, you were, maintaining your physique or whatever. So it really isn't that good for you because it is, after all, cheese. However, this would have been part of like, oh, if I'm eating cottage cheese, it's actually healthy. Where okay, sure,
right, healthier
than chocolate. Yeah.
What I noticed, what I noticed when watching this scene, and it's just something really small and stupid, but Clark is drinking his coffee. He finishes his cup and he just puts it on the ramp and just continues to walk. It's like, throw away your cup, man. What the heck?
Oh,
remember
the laziness.
He forgot that it's not just garbage
anymore. Oh,
he forgot.
Wow.
Maybe he was saving it for later. Who knows? I was like, what the?
Clark.
Okay. Just leaves it there.
Superman littering. It's not the worst thing he does in this episode, but it's
save the planet, Superman.
Yeah,
save the planet.
Recycle.
Yeah, he goes on later, and I have more to say on that, but he goes on later about ripping pages out of the phone book and how inconsiderate it is. And I'm like, sir, let's talk. Your behavior.
Let's talk about where you leave your trash.
We need to have a chat. Yeah. So Perry calls Lois into his office and Clark follows. He shows Lois and Clark the news clip of this girl who looks just like her on TV. Lois calls it a sick joke. Dr. Carlin says it's a cry for help, signs of PTSD, memory loss, whatever. And she says,
but I can help, if you let me.
No, thank you.
And Perry and Clark both strongly encourage her to try. Lois says she can't because they have to go to Lex's will reading. But that's not for a couple hours, so they have time. Lois is left with Dr. Carlin and they look at each other. Guess this is happening.
We cut to Superman flying through the sky, reading a book on psychology. He is distracted and runs into a radio antenna, which then we cut to this random woman jogging with a radio, and her radio cuts out, and she's like, what? He straightens out the antenna and flies on, and then we see him flying over cornfields and this and that. And then he flies up to Jonathan Kent, who's up on a ladder, presumably painting the barn with non-existent red paint, and nearly startles his dad.
Yes.
I do want to point out here, though, we were talking about it last season, you see Jonathan's forearms in this episode. I think it's a pose.
Yeah.
Not his whole sleeve, but, his whole arm.
Wow, showing some skin.
Showing some skin.
He doesn't want to get paint on it.
Is that why?
I guess.
Paint.
His paint in quotes.
So anyway, Clark startles his dad, but catches him before he goes flying off the ladder. And then for the next few minutes, we go back and forth between Lois and Arianna Carlin's conversation and Clark's conversation with his parents. His mom comes outside too, and they're talking. And basically this scene is recapping what went on in House of Luthor and kind of getting everybody's reactions to it now. And Arianna says to Lois, you can't ignore what took place on your wedding day, the events surrounding Lex Luthor, saying to Lois, that must have been a stressful, traumatizing time for you, and that's probably why you're not doing so well. And, of course, this recaps us. Oh, yeah, Lois had that wedding to Lex Luthor a minute ago, yeah. Arianna also asks Lois if she's had the desire to strike out at anyone recently. And Lois gives Arianna a look. Arianna is onto this, but Lois then quickly shifts and says the only craving she's had, or the only desire she's had recently is for double fudge crunch bars, and she takes one out and begins to eat. We hear Clark tell his parents that he's been so worried about Lois lately that he hasn't had much of an appetite. And this is because his mom is offering him some food. And that's sweet that Clark's worried about Lois. I mean, I'm assuming that even before this episode happened, maybe she's had a few other moments we can assume where she's not been herself. Because he seems like he's been worried about her starting from the beginning of this episode, not just after she was on the news or whatever. Lois explains to Arianna about all these things that happened one after another. Lex's proposal, the planet was destroyed. Clark told her that he loved her. And then he changed his mind and told her he didn't love her. And she's recapping all of this about how this was just like too much. And Arianna asks what we, the audience, are also asking, what's your relationship with Clark now?
For a second, I thought there might be something between us, but
And we're like, oh,
Ah.
no. And then we cut to Clark, who's saying, I told her I didn't love her because the only person she's in love with is Superman. And his mom rightfully calls him out for lying. And he says,
I crossed my fingers when I did it.
and she just gives him this look like, are you 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mama's not happy.
Mama's, yeah, and she's
No.
not having it either. She's like, raised you to have some emotional
Did I-
maturity. Where is it? Lois, meanwhile, admits to Arianna that she, in saying yes to Lex's proposal, was attracted to his power and to what she thought, Lois, thought was a great humanitarian. But, Lois says,
no. I never loved Lex.
Lois does admit her ongoing love for Superman, and she and Arianna have a kindred moment about, haven't you ever loved someone and you knew you'd love him forever? And Lois is talking about Superman. Arianna, as we've started to figure out, is still hung up on Lex Luthor and loves him still. And definitely Arianna can feel, intensely about this, as Lois can too. Of course, Lois has no idea what's going on the other side, but that's fine. So the session ends. And Lois walks away looking kind of happy. She's like throwing things into the trash from far away, like making basketball shots. Arianna, this jerk of a woman, goes up to Perry White. Off the record, she's got a lot of problems. I'm afraid we're going to see things get worse before they get better. And she basically tells Perry that Lois is a hot mess, which is not true. But, Perry believes her and is super concerned about Lois now.
She's got to plant those little seeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we cut to Lex's penthouse, where, as you may remember, there is a will reading going on. Lex has left $25,000 to this organization and however much money to this organization, and Lois has taken notes, and Clark comes in. He asks, if you missed anything and how her session went, her session with Arianna Carlin. And, she says, she kind of dismisses the session at first, but then she admits, well, maybe I got a few things off my chest. Anyway, it's over, and now I'm fine. Clark is like, and now you're fine after that? He says, quick healing. He's a sassy boy. Ugh.
That's so rude.
But
Yeah.
just after this, the Sheldon Bender, this is the lawyer who's giving who is announcing the things in the will. He says something to the effect of blah, 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 the annuity for Alexa's ex-wife, A.C. Luthor. And Lois and Clark are both like, what? Ex-wife? They apparently had no idea that Lex Luthor had an ex-wife. Ever. Lois gets super mad. She says,
I can't believe it. He never said a word about it.
and she's pissed. So Clark's like, well, let's go find this AC Luthor person, and they both get out of there.
Would you be mad?
I would be
If
more
you were
like,
attracted to him? I mean, if you decided that it wasn't love and he ended up lying to you though, but you had almost made this big decision, would you be mad?
not as mad as she gets, especially all the horrible things she's already learned about him. This would just
Yeah,
be
I know.
like, oh,
I-
another horrible
don't-
thing he's done. Meh.
That's where I was going, because I feel like she gets so angry about this, and I'm like, but why is this the thing that makes you angry? This is weird for me.
Exactly. In the script, it actually says when she's making that quote, something along the lines of, all those times he told me I was his first true love, I could kill him. Well, would have killed him. I'm like, wow, she's really upset about this.
Yikes.
Just because he had an ex?
Yeah. People have pasts, Lois. That's
I mean,
weird.
that of all of the things he's
Oh.
lied and deceived about
Yes.
and whatnot, I don't think this would be.
Unless,
Yeah, he's
and
killed people.
we never saw it on screen, but maybe him telling her, "You were my first true love," was like kind of hooked her.
Mm-hmm.
One of the
Maybe.
you know, not in. It seems weird to be like, yes, that's what it was. I'm like, yeah, but that actually never happened because why didn't they show it to us before? Like, you can't just write this in and say it happened, and we're like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, oh, and Lois does have a funny quote here where she says, "I'd like to meet the woman who said I do before I did." Almost did. It didn't.
I know, that's cute.
Like, let's be real. I did not say I do. We cut to a laboratory. There's machines galore and tubes and buttons and all kinds of things. And Arianna Carlin walks in and starts talking to a doctor. And this is Dr. Gretchen Kelly, we will learn. We find out that Gretchen Kelly is trying to regenerate Lex. He is currently lying in a vat and he has a heartbeat. This is concerning.
Yeah.
Gretchen Kelly leaves Arianna alone with Lex in the vat, and Arianna leans over and tells Lex that she got into his penthouse and that she has gotten a hold of kryptonite, and tells him, "Be well, darling." But I just have to. Okay, one thing that happens in this scene is his heartbeat as she starts to talk to him. Lex's heartbeat on the screen, you can see it increasing.
Uh-huh.
But she calls him my darling. Are we to assume that he's like happy to hear her voice? She seems to think she's going to regenerate him. He's going to pop out and be like, "Arianna, oh, hey, let's be buddies again. Let's get married again."
Together.
I can't imagine that happening. Lex coming back to life. Not our Lex. Our Lex would still be going after Lois. So
yeah,
maybe his heart is beating faster because he's stressed.
Ooh, yeah. He's like, "Gosh,
Could
snap,
be.
my ex. I thought I got rid of her."
How did Ariana know about the kryptonite? Did she? That confused me a little bit.
That's a good point.
And how come it didn't get like taken before she got to it?
I think she has some connections to somebody who still works there.
She must.
And
Mrs. Cox.
I'm assuming more than one person knew about the kryptonite. We know Mrs. Cox knew about it. Yeah. Maybe Mrs. Cox, because later in another episode, Mrs. Cox is the one that points Lois and Clark to the crypt where Lex is being kept. So
maybe.
But then what was your second question? Well, that it was still there?
Like that it was still
such a
there.
tiny piece?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All I can think is that she had some connection with somebody who still worked there.
Somebody
and
told
gone
her.
to jail.
Maybe she visited Mrs. Cox in jail.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah. So the camera kind of pulls back and we see the form of Lex Luthor under this glass vat. And if you look really carefully, you can tell it is a double. It is not John Shea.
That is most definitely not John Shea. They didn't fly him in to just put him in there for a few seconds.
But as a kid watching this, it was convincing enough, I guess.
Yeah.
It was blurry enough.
Yeah. The next morning, Lois comes into work and asks Clark if he's found out anything about Lex's previous marriage, and she's been at the Bureau of Vital Statistics trying to find out, if there was any marriage license for Lex Luthor, and there hasn't been, and both of them don't have anything. But all of a sudden, here comes Jimmy, and he has the answers. He found out that Lex Luthor got married on a boat in the Caribbean 10 years before. And he found a little wedding announcement that had run in the Daily Planet. It doesn't list the woman's name or anything, which I find very strange. But they decide to contact the ship's captain and see if he knows anything. So, this whole thing about 10 years ago, Lex Luthor got married, but nobody knows about this. When did Lex get rich and famous? Was it in like 9.3 years ago? Why? Because later on, the captain, we'll get to that, but he says, oh, Luther wasn't anybody then, but I could tell he was a comer. We're talking 1984.
Right.
It's so weird. The timing does not time out. Well, before anything else can happen, in comes Detective Ryder. He asks Lois where she was the night before. She says, well, I was at home. And he says,
Oh, can anyone verify that?
No, of course not. I sleep alone. By choice.
poor Lois has to be on the spot.
Mhm.
Well, Detective Ryder tells her that last night someone who looks exactly like her assaulted a guard outside Lex's penthouse, and the security camera, which is an amazing security camera, we're talking like Pentax DSL, or whatever that's called, DSLR. It takes a beautiful picture of this woman, and it looks like Lois. And he's like, this is you. You're under arrest. She's like, what? That wasn't me. And off to jail she goes. And as she's being cuffed, we see Arianna Carlin looking smug.
My plan is working.
So why didn't Lois already have her engagement ring? Shouldn't she have still had it? Like, how did it get back into the penthouse?
I wondered that too. When you get married, I know you get a different ring. Do you take your engagement ring off like the day before so it's ready for the wedding ring? Like, what did you do?
Well, mine's both because
Okay.
my wedding ring kind of goes around it. But yeah, I always wore my engagement ring. And then you wear the wedding ring as well.
I mean,
We're gonna have to go back and see if she's wearing a ring walking down the aisle. I meant to do that.
Okay.
Because for me, I wore my engagement ring and then he put the wedding ring on. So she
Oh,
would still
down-
have it in that case.
That was a
Okay.
really big engagement ring, if you remember from the beginning of Barbarians at the
Yes, it
Planet.
was.
So
Yes, it was.
maybe it wasn't practical. Maybe she was like, let's get something smaller for the wedding, and I'll just wear that. Man, I have so many questions.
Maybe. But I was like, she should still have the engagement ring. But yet she's stealing it.
Anyway, I would have given the ring back, and she didn't have him to give it to, but she could have mailed it back or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I
she
would have
dropped
kept
it.
that and sold it.
Yeah.
Keep that money.
I don't
Heck
know.
yeah.
Questions.
But yeah, maybe she left it there, was like, threw it. Threw it on his
So-
desk or something.
So we cut to this police station, jail, and there is a man getting arrested or getting detained, and he has a t-shirt on with Superman's photo and a big circle with a line through it, like Superman, no. And he's yelling, down with Superman. And I know Julie wants this shirt.
I wrote that down
do.
too. I said Julie wants this prop.
I
Where
do.
is it?
I
do
kind of
want
want
it.
that. I would wear that. So Perry and
Wait,
Clark
where
are
did
sitting.
she go?
Oh, maybe she
She's
has
getting
something
it.
similar.
She has it. Surprise, she
Is
has
it-
it.
I
Oh,
have
is it
this.
that?
It is.
But it
It
doesn't
is that
have
one
this-
with him. Yes.
It
You
is
just have
this
to-
one. It is this shirt, but they added the circle.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
they didn't, like-
Julie,
That's funny.
all you have to do is get some like HTV vinyl, like heat transfer vinyl, and then like
Stick it
do
on.
a circle. You have a Cricut, right? You could do this.
Yeah, we're
like a
We're already
circle with
talking
a
I do.
line.
costumes.
I do have a
Right, think you
Cricut.
have your costume.
Oh my.
Well, Perry and Clark are sitting there waiting
Ugh.
for Lois to be released, and Perry's reaction to these protesters, these Superman protesters, is what these people need is a good swift kick in the rear. Okay. So Lois has been bailed out, and Lois asks Perry and Clark if they have any idea who has set her up. And Clark and Perry kind of look at each other like, what is she talking about? What do we got here now?
I
It's
looked
hard
it
for us.
up. She is wearing the ring at the
Okay.
wedding.
Huh.
So she has the ring on at the wedding. So she should
It's
have
been
it.
like, it has been like 3 months.
Okay, true. She
Because the
probably was
planet
told
had to
to
be
give it back.
rebuilt and things like that. I think she just gave it back.
Probably. I would think that would be the right thing to do anyway,
Yeah.
I guess. Even though it's,
Sure.
I don't know, it's Lex Luthor. He's a bad guy. Don't give it back.
It was
Sell it.
it was a gift. I would have kept it and sold it. What was it,
Yeah,
$500,000?
Would you have to pay taxes on it? Okay. So, poor Lois right here. Dr. Carlin being the one who is trying to set Lois up and is hurting her. And Perry is meanwhile trying to tell Lois to go spend even more time talking to Dr. Carlin. He tells her he's going to have her take some time off. And then he tells Clark, to make sure Lois gets home okay, and then he takes off. So Clark and Lois are walking together, and they're outside. And Clark asks Lois what she's planning to do with all of her free time now that Perry has given her time off. And Lois says some things about what she might do, learn piano, work on her tan, or I could try to find out who's been setting me up.
That was cute.
I
like that.
She is so over it with Clark. She's like, she says she lays it all out for him because he has been so hyper-focused on there must be something wrong with Lois that he has not even probably considered that something's going on. But she has clocked it, and she says,
Clark, can't you see that some strange things have been happening? I am arrested for a crime I did not commit. People are suddenly at each other's throats over Superman. A plastic surgeon who used to work at Lex Labs is murdered. Now, I can't prove that all these things are connected, but my reporter's instinct says something's up. What does your instinct say?
Clark responds,
My instincts say never argue with a woman who's just been behind bars.
Lois goes on to say, if there is a double of me out there, then maybe she had plastic surgery. Hey, there's been a plastic surgeon in the news lately, Dr. Heller. So, remember the murdered guy from earlier. R.I.P. They decide, or Clark suggests that they go by Dr. Heller's office and see who some of his most recent patients have been. Okay, so that's where they're headed. We cut to a gun shop where the Lois double is buying a gun. She goes to sign the license with her left hand. She quickly checks herself and switches to her right hand. So yes, Lois double has a gun. Back to the real Lois, she and Clark go to a phone booth to look up Dr. Heller's office address. Now here I'm confused because weren't they investigating his murder? And they have no idea where he works. They never went to his office ever? That should have been part of your... I see they've been busy. It's fine.
True.
At the phone booth, Lois checks... She puts her finger in the coin return of the payphone. And there's nothing there. And then Clark notices this. And he's like, why'd you do that? And she's like, what? It's just a habit. And he is so rude right here. He's like, you're a well-paid professional. What do you got to look for loose change for? She's like, what? Nothing. Goodness. Ugh. Anyway, Clark looks in the yellow pages. He sees that the page with Dr. Heller's address, or where it would be, has been ripped out. And he starts to talk about how rude that is. Meanwhile, Lois picks up the other phone book and finds the address. And Clark's just like, I can't believe when people rip the page out of the phone book. And then you hear Lois rip the page out of the phone book.
So good.
Clark's
So good.
face is the best. I love her right there.
I think he was flirting with her when he was joking about the coin return. I think it was a little bit of like teasing, like, ribbing a little bit, like, oh, you're a well-paid professional, lady. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
It's so cute.
I thought it was cute though.
I think well, I'll get to that later. So, they find Dr. Heller's address. Lois hails a taxi, but the taxi drives by her. And she is just really mad about that because apparently this taxi driver heard her, doesn't have a customer, and has driven by her. Because maybe he recognizes her from the TV and doesn't like her. Who knows? Well, Clark saves the day by using his super breath to essentially suck the taxi back over in front of them. This is Metropolis. Couldn't you wait for the next one? Come now.
Yeah.
Right. You don't think that taxi driver is gonna wonder what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
It's probably the same taxi driver that he sneezed on and all shook up, and he probably just used to this by now. His taxi just doing what it wants.
What's happening? Yeah.
So Lois and Clark get to Dr. Heller's office, and there's a woman there packing stuff up into boxes, and Lois asks if she can see her file. She's sort of trying to pretend to be the double. And this lady says, "Oh, I'm just a temp. I have, I don't recognize you. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just packing this stuff up." And Lois is like, "I need to see my file. This is my doctor." She points to Clark. She's like, "Okay, you can see your file. What's your name?" Lois is like, "Shoot, I don't know the answer to this because, yeah." So she runs behind the counter into a storage room. The temp follows her, going, "You can't go in there." And then Lois pushes her in and locks the door. And the woman bangs on the door for a while and then finally gives up. Just we have no
stops.
idea her fate. But Lois and Clark
She's
go
still in
through.
there.
She's still in there to this day. Lois
She
and Clark
sat
go
down
through
in the
some.
corner
She
and
started
cried.
crying. I assume she pulled a Jimmy and went out the vent, and she's,
Oh,
gonna get out
Yeah.
eventually. My other theory is
maybe.
that after Lois and Clark leave, Clark zips back in and unlocks the door. At least he better have. Or else I'm gonna write it down as Clark helps kidnap.
Uh,
So Lois and Clark go through these files, immediately find the one they need. It's about the double. It doesn't have a name on it, but it's Lois's same height, weight, everything. And they learned that the surgery that was performed on this person was paid for by the ACL Corporation, which is the same one that had something to do with Lex's ex-wife that they found out the will reading. So, connection. Clark's beeper goes off. He's got a page from Jimmy. The beepers are back.
woo!
On the phone, Jimmy tells Clark that he found the ship's captain, the captain who married the Luthers, and that Jimmy has set up a meeting with Lois and Clark, because he's retired and lives in Metropolis. And then Jimmy says, oh, they thank him, and then Jimmy's like, "Anytime, just put in a good word for me with Perry." It's just, that's weird. It's why? Why did he say that? Has he been, I mean, I get that he's new Jimmy and he needs to get in with Perry, but if we're to believe that this is the same Jimmy as before, just with a different face, Perry, this is weird. I don't know.
I know. I got the same vibe from this. Is that it almost seemed like he was a new guy on the job, and it's almost like he didn't exist last season.
Last thing is, we pan to Arianna Carlin, who is also on the phone in the Daily Planet, and she's talking to someone, and she says, "They sent Lois Lane home. You ready? Give me 30 minutes to get out of here and then do it." Yes, Jen?
I just have to say the camera work with this pan, I actually wrote it down between the pan from Jimmy to Ariana. Sorry, I have a friend named Ariana. Anyway, the panning was really nicely done. I thought it was good work. So props. Does anybody say that anymore? Props.
Yeah.
Kudos. Way to
Sure.
go. Pat on your back, high five.
Lois and Clark go to see Captain Keen at his retirement home. Lois wonders if Lex's bride was something like her. But the captain says,
No, much prettier. And really built.
"What? How rude."
So
Clark's
mean. Why
has
are
the cutest little smirk here where he's just like, hee hee.
I
Poor
know.
Lois. Like, what? How rude.
Yeah.
That was not necessary, man. I know you're an
No.
old guy, but geez.
I don't like that Clark smiles here, except I can give him a pass if maybe he's only doing it because he's like, "Oh my gosh, old people are so weird."
Totally. It was totally funny though. So apparently the captain has a picture of everyone that he has ever married. So he pulls out this photo album to show them the picture. He shows the photo of Lex and Ari Carlin, married October 8th, 1984. Uh-oh. Dun dun dun. They know who it is now. It's the crazy psychiatrist. Back at the Daily Planet, Jimmy is carrying around Ariana's book, hoping to get her to autograph it for his mother's birthday. Perry thinks that it's a really weird gift to give somebody and wonders what is wrong with just getting her chocolates and flowers.
My mom's overweight and she's got allergies.
Oh, well, give her the book.
And isn't this like the only mention of Jimmy's mom? I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
I
one
always
more.
I always thought that Jimmy's mom was dead or something because I don't think he mentions her ever.
I could be wrong. Maybe in the spy episode something is said, but I couldn't tell you what. But I feel like she's just forgotten.
I was thinking the same thing. I don't remember ever hearing anything about Jimmy's mom, so we're gonna have to watch for that. So then Lois's double enters.
I'm through taking orders from you. And I'm through with the planet. Consider this my 2-week notice.
And throws a tear gas grenade into the planet and leaves. Chaos ensues. Smoke and tear gas go all over the place. People start running out. And Perry's like, everybody get down. Lois and Clark arrive at the planet just in time. Always right there in time. Good job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Clark goes inside, but just as Lois enters, she sees her double leaving and decides to follow.
It's another scene here of the extras being extra because there's two people standing outside the Daily Planet and the tear gas is wafting out from behind the globe, I assume out a window. And there's two people just standing there pointing, going,
Yeah.
if it's that bad. God.
Yeah, why are you still coughing outside? I thought the same thing. You shouldn't still be coughing. Clark goes to change into Superman and saves the day, neutralizing the gas and turns it into, I guess, snow? Because it's basically snowing inside the Daily Planet. Pretty cool. You know, science is cool. Science. Lois catches up to her double and confronts her, commenting on her makeup and clothing and all that, but I honestly don't think she looks that different than Lois. So they have this little back and forth. Lois grabs at her hair thinking it's a wig, and they kind of fight for a little bit, and then Arianna comes up behind Lois, cocks her gun, and takes her away. I think they did a pretty good job here with the splicing effect between the two Loises.
There's a little shadow goof, but it's very small.
It's very, very small, but I thought it was very well done. They had a little bit of experience after the Batman episode, so
and they're gonna get more. Oh my goodness!
And they'll definitely have some more chances to make it even better in the future. But I also liked the contrast between the Lois double being in black and the actual Lois being more in like white, like off-white ivory kind of color. It was very black and white, very good versus evil. Thought that was very nicely done. Back at the planet, Perry tells Superman that the tear gas was thrown by Lois.
No, it wasn't Lois, Mr. White. She's been set up. There's a double.
A double?
Did you see which way she went?
Yeah. She went back down the elevator.
He goes off in search of her, but out on the sidewalk, all he finds is her purse that she dropped on the ground. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. So he goes back up to the Daily Planet as Clark, gets Perry and Jimmy up to speed on Arianna. He calls Detective Ryder to put out an APB on Arianna Carlin. Perry says, "I can't believe that woman pulled the wool over my eyes like that," to which Jimmy replies, "Don't feel so bad, Chief. She wrote the book on it," and holds up Ariana's book, Subliminal Persuasion. That's it.
How do you be like, I'm going to use subliminal messaging in my columns for my own means and evil purposes, but I'm also going to explain how I did it so everyone knows that I can do it.
Yeah,
exactly. That's pretty stupid. But now they know what's probably happening. Clark decides to look through her columns and actually does find subliminal messages. Well, duh. When you link together the first letters of each paragraph, he found Superman is evil. Man of Steel wicked. Superman must die. Well, that's the reason 20% of Metropolis is anti-Superman. So Perry pulls out tomorrow's column to check it out. And yes, there's another message in there from her that says, Lane murder of Superman good. They now know her plan is to frame Lois for Superman's death. Just then, apparently, Dr. Carlin calls for Clark, tells him that Lois has gone over the edge and that Lois is threatening to kill herself unless she can speak to Superman. Why, though? Why would she be? Why? What do you guys think?
I think Arianna thinks that Clark doesn't believe Lois, or I mean that Clark still thinks Lois is in mental trouble. Obviously we know Clark isn't, but he plays it off, doesn't let, Arianna know that he's onto her. So she's still like, yes, Lois is having a mental breakdown. You believe me, right, Clark? And he's like, yeah, I'll get Superman for you. But
sure.
Yeah.
At the penthouse, Arianna hangs up the phone and we see that Lois is tied up and gagged. Arianna tells Lois the entire plan because that's what bad guys do. that the plan is to kill Superman and to frame her for it. This is basically a revenge scenario. Like Arianna believes Lois is responsible for Lex's death, even though she's not. Lois wiggles the gag out of her mouth and says, well, nothing can kill Superman. Arianna shows the kryptonite bullet and loads it into the gun. You know, the gun that was bought by her double, so that's not good. The double enters. Lois asks who she is, to which she responds, well, I'm just an accident victim who was in the right place at the right time. Anyway, in the script, it says that the second Lois's double, comes out with her hair blonde again. So she was in the bathroom washing her hair, getting the dye out, to go back blonde again. They didn't do that. They should have done that. Because now that everything's over, she doesn't want to be Lois.
Right.
So she needs to go back to her blonde. So it made sense.
I think going from dark to blonde doesn't work that way. If you just go into the bathroom and try to dye your hair blonde, it wouldn't work. So
you would have to
Not
strip
really.
it again, which would take time.
True.
And we can't
Been
have
there, done
anything
that.
unbelievable happen on this show.
I know. I'm sitting here thinking about Legally Blonde, and then it's like, you know, when you get the perm, you're not allowed to wash your hair for so many hours, and then it could take them down in a court of law. So
That's true. It does take time. I have bleached my hair. It was not a good look. It doesn't look good on me, that's for sure. Don't go blonde.
okay, now we need pictures, Julie.
I feel like I have pictures.
I'm sure you have pictures of me blonde. Anyway, back to the episode. Arianna sedates Lois and waits for Superman. Superman finally shows up at the penthouse, and Arianna enters with the gun pointed at him. She pulls the trigger, and Superman just stands there smirking, believing that bullets couldn't hurt him. As the bullet hits him in the shoulder, he drops to the ground, surprised, confused, in pain. Arianna explains that it's, again, revenge for letting Lex die. She places the gun in Lois's hand, and out the door she goes with the double. Once she leaves, Superman tries to wake Lois by calling her name, but didn't work. So he decides to burn a hole in the fish tank. Poor fishies. Please don't hit the fish.
I know.
Lois awakens by the trickle of the little bit of water that's falling on her face. She's a bit confused, but quickly she gets up and goes to help Superman, grabbing a letter opener, I think, right? It's a letter opener?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So she grabs the letter opener and fishes the bullet out with it. The wound instantly heals itself, even though the kryptonite is right next to it. Superman asks her to get the kryptonite away, joking that the middle of the Bermuda Triangle would be fine. And then he goes off to find Arianna and the double. I like in the script, though, they did mention this, that he uses his heat vision before he leaves to meld the aquarium hole shut to save the fishies.
Good.
Good job, Superman.
I remember.
You gotta save the fishies.
No, I remember being upset by this scene as a kid, thinking, like, I mean, I'd watched the episode a few times, and then I'm thinking about this scene, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, those fish are all gonna die. And I was upset. And then watched it again and realized, okay, he does it about 6 inches up, so probably they'd be still alive because they'd have some water.
Yeah.
The things we think about
Mm-hmm.
shows that we care, but we also
empathy
get
is
very
so
stressed
good.
about any animals
Poor
being
animals
mistreated, possibly.
I know.
I did like that they had the solution in the script, but also maybe Lois plugged it up before leaving as well. Possibly.
Yeah,
You don't
that would
want,
have
because
created
she's got
some
fish.
That's a
She
huge
likes
tank.
fish.
And the water damage, I mean, not that she cares about water damage to Lex's penthouse, but, you know, it would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
So outside, Superman catches up to them as they are driving away. Lois, who is driving, barrels right into him, causing him to tumble through the air, and then they end up crashing into a fire hydrant. Not really sure why they crashed. Lois's double is a very bad driver, apparently.
Yeah.
They decide to ditch the car and jump into a semi, forcing the driver to go. Bunch of stuff happens inside the cab. Suddenly, Arianna points the gun at the Lois double and tells her to get out. The gun goes off and a struggle ensues, and there's some fight for, who's going to take it, causing the semi to drive erratically all over the street, weaving and jackknifing. Superman, even in his weakened state, finally catches up to them and ends up stopping the semi right before it hits, of course, a playground full of children.
On an old school playground, which is eye candy to me with the metal bars.
At this point, when Superman opens the door, the driver had already gotten the gun away from Arianna and hands it over to Superman. Superman comments,
I guess he doesn't read your column.
Yeah, he's not anti-Superman.
Yeah.
No.
I like that scene because she has a pause. Arianna pauses for a second, and then she gives Superman a dirty look because suddenly she knows that he knows that she's been using the secret messages in her column, and she's like,
like, ah, man.
She's like, that was supposed to be a secret. No one was supposed to see that. It's so nice that he has a power where one of his superpowers is to have letters float out from the page and rearrange themselves in front of him.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a good power. I also wrote this down too because I thought it was interesting. In the script, in the episode, they're driving around in a BMW when they're trying to escape. In the script, it's Ariana's car and she drives a Lexus.
Oh, she would.
And I was like,
she does.
Of course she has a Lexus. Lexus. And it made me smile when I saw the semi's license plate because I owned that license plate for a total of 2 days.
Why don't you have it anymore?
It was a weird. I actually bought Lois's license plate from the first season, the KMT 634 that's up here on the wall, but they sent me that one instead.
Oh, right, I remember that.
I opened that package and I was so upset. So this is not what I ordered. And then they were like, oh, we sent the wrong one. I'm like, I will send this back. You send me the correct one, please. I want the other one, not this one.
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there who wants a license plate, that might still be available. It might still be there.
I bet you could probably get it now again if you wanted to.
I don't need another license plate.
Okay.
But you could buy one.
Says the girl with how many jackets?
I have a few extras. But realistically, how many license plates do you need? I have 2.
You have 2. That's good though.
And how many chocolate bars that we can't eat do we have?
I have 3.
So basically, Molly is
at license plates.
Molly is giving you permission to go out and buy a 3rd one. Mom says yes, go for it.
The license plates are pricey. I don't know.
Oh, are they?
But every time the semi license plate comes up multiple times because it's just a random one they throw on extra vehicles. It comes up every time I watch episodes. I'm like, oh, there it is. I should rebuy it. I should have kept it and just bought the other one again. But no,
man,
I don't need every little thing.
You heard it here first,
double.
guys.
I just died.
I can't believe what.
But at least
I'm
said
confused.
that.
My pen is safe now. I don't have to send that to Julie.
Do I need
I'm going to take that back. I do need everything. If somebody wants to buy them for me, I will gladly take them.
We need a psychiatrist on.
Do you think this is the real Julie Price we're talking to?
That's what I was just going. Yeah, like Arianna Carlin, where are you? We need you for Julie. She needs some help right now.
Double. I can't even believe that came out of my own mouth. Because that's not true. I do need everything, but I don't want to buy them all. Back at the Daily Planet, I'm guessing this is probably the next day. Clark asks Jimmy what he's holding. But my question here is, what? Clark knows that that's Arianna's book, so I was a little confused on why he was asking what it was. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a goof, or is that
Did Clark know that was Ariana's book? Why would he have known that?
Because the scene earlier, when
He
Jimmy
found
was
out
like, she
that
wrote the book on it, and he holds up his
yeah.
book. And that's how
Mhm.
he was like, oh yeah, maybe it's subliminal messages. And then he went and looked in the column. So I'm like, he knows what that book is.
Mm,
Maybe he couldn't see
Maybe-
what the book was. I don't know.
Maybe. And maybe he wanted to do for full circle, explain it to the audience, like, oh,
the
what you
audience.
got there? Oh, it's the book.
Well,
But-
Oh, it's the
from
book. The book is back.
from experience, if you're sitting there reading a book or holding a book, randos will walk up to you and ask you what you're reading, even though it's right there, because they just want to bug you and not let you read. Not that Jimmy was
Yeah.
reading, but
Yeah.
True.
what'd
Okay.
you read?
But we had to find out that Jimmy is going to get a refund for his book. He's returning it. He.
Yeah.
He laughs and he walks off. So now Lois is finishing up her story on the final chapter of the House of Luther. She's done, but she's second guessing whether to share information that she deems possibly personal.
Lois, you've got great reporter instincts. Trust him.
She finishes her story, keeping her knowledge of the kryptonite bullet secret. Yay, Lois. That is the right decision. Good job.
Yay.
But poor Lois thinking this is the end of the Lex Luthor saga. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It is not the final chapter, Lois. I am sorry to tell you. It just gets weirder from here.
I wanted to point out that in this last scene with Clark and Jimmy and Lois, all three of them, like, kudos to wardrobe. Clark
Yeah.
looked fantastic. His gray suit, it was unbuttoned. It was like a light maroon button-up shirt, but it was unbuttoned. Oh, he looked really good. Jimmy had that flannel shirt thing going on. Like, he looked good too. But
Yeah.
then Lois had her hair tucked behind her ear, which is such a small thing, but she doesn't do that very often, and it looked good. Anyway, good job, wardrobe.
Kind of a departure, her just wearing a tank top to work, though.
I got vibes that they were working on, like, it was like Friday, like, relaxed at the end of the day, like casual Friday type. I don't know. Because it was definitely a departure. She was leaving to go to the Bermuda Triangle or something.
Oh.
That's what it was. She knew
As
she
you
was going to be
do.
going on vacation, so she was very casual. So Perry comes over and says that Arianna and the double are now in prison and suggests that Lois takes some time off and completely expects some pushback, but Lois just agrees. What? Is this Lois or is this the double? Are we sure that this is Lois? Oh, so Perry says, Clark, are you sure we're talking to the real Lois Lane? And Clark asks, well, what are you going to do with all your free time? She says,
I don't know. Maybe I'll take a cruise through the Bermuda Triangle.
throw it into the
Like-
ocean like Titanic.
Rose.
And then she says,
And guys, try not to let this place fall apart while I'm gone.
Perry says,
Yep. That's our Lois.
A genuine article.
da 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 da. You think this is the end of the episode because you get that
Yep.
cute little end ditty boppy music, but nope. We end up in, I don't know what you call it, Lex's lair. Gretchen says,
I've got some bad news, Lex. Arianna failed.
but that he'll always have her, and she kisses her finger and presses it to the glass. Creepy, man. Creepy. No. The end.
What's wrong with these
Or the-
women?
Or the beginning of something very weird.
Yeah.
You decide.
Yeah, it does start a thread for the season with Gretchen Kelly, Lex Luthor,
Yikes.
Sheldon Bender,
Mhm.
Kryptonite. It'll all
Some
be
rats.
back. The rats.
Not space ones.
So that's our episode. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? New things you'd noticed or anything else? Oh, the newsroom. I mean, because we were talking
Oh, yeah.
how we couldn't really quite remember how it changed. And And I was looking at it. I remember there being a lot of like dark colors in season one. I noticed a lot of like lighter blue going on in the
Mm-hmm.
newsroom. And then the tile floor, I don't know if that was put in new, but it was very pretty. And I also noticed the cafe down in the lobby, which I don't think had been there before. A little coffee
Mm-hmm.
shop. So
Yeah.
a couple of changes.
Yeah, that was kind of in a corner before where they got their coffee and snacks. Now it's kind of like up by the elevators. Is that where it was? No,
Are we
it
talking the
was up.
lobby or the newsroom?
Or the newsroom. The
Right. So
newsroom.
the newsroom
Like the
snack part
coffee
changed too.
place.
Yeah. Now it's kind of out in
Yeah,
the middle instead of over. Yes, that's true
right.
also.
So that changed a little bit. Were the
And
columns like golden in the first season?
I think so. That sounds right.
Maybe it's just brighter that I noticed it in this episode.
I think this is the season they put those like window looking things on the ends of their desks. They're like kind of blue with a
Oh,
black trim and look like little
Like the
windows.
dividers.
Dividers, there you go.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 And Perry's office seemed to like it had more open windows than it did. I could be wrong about that. I mean, you could like see
And
into it really
I
easily.
noticed a lot more of the plants too. After the snow fell, there was a lot more of like greenery around the whole office, minus Lois's dead plant, I'm sure. But I don't remember there being as much plant stuff in the office. I don't know.
All right, so I would like to circle back to the scene where Lois helps, or where Superman gets shot and Lois has to help save him because there were a few points there that I thought we needed to talk about. A few things about this scene that I think we should touch on that are important here are, well, back in Barbarians of the Planet, she had had her awkward, like, I'm so in love with you, and him turning her down. And then she hadn't seen Superman again until the very end of House of Luthor, where he flies through the sky and she's like, and I'm not finished with you either, big fella. And now it's been like
Mhm.
3 or 4 months, and we don't know. Maybe they've seen each other, maybe they haven't. But I like to imagine that this is the first time they've talked or had any interaction since since their like since that awkward confession.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like this scene is so it's bittersweet because this is the first time Lois has directly saved Superman. And it's the second time she's saved Clark, basically, because she indirectly saved him back in Green Grove Home by getting the sheriff to the Kent farm in time. But this is like, yeah, I want to say the first time she ever has saved Superman knowingly. And I just think that's like a kind of a important moment for our show. Also, if they haven't seen each other, since the confession, this has got to be a good way to break the ice. Like,
Yeah.
hey, no more awkwardness. I just like pulled a bullet out of your chest. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notably, I think it's in the next 4 episodes, Superman comes to her apartment, I want to say 3 of those episodes. 3 times.
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah. Did Clark's heart eyes for Lois grow even bigger after this little encounter? Did you see them holding hands while she was getting that thing out?
Yeah.
That's true. On his heart, no less.
I know. The other thing I wanted to bring up is this is Lois's first recognition that kryptonite exists. Because back in Green Grove Home, it was speculated. She thought Trask was just nuts, but she named it. And now she sees A, it's real, and B, oh my gosh, Superman is vulnerable.
Mhm.
So important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
That's monumental.
and it's important the end of this episode where she chooses not to include this information about the kryptonite hurting Superman in her story. You know, we're like, woohoo, go Lois. But it will come back in A Bolt from the Blue when she kind of throws it back at him. And we'll get there, though. Like, I don't want to spoil 7, 8, 9 episodes from now. But
We
yeah.
got some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just say kudos writers for all the continuity coolness you did this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Not only
weave it throughout.
Yeah, not only
Mhm.
calling back to last season with the House of Luther stuff, but going forward. So in that sense, like this episode is a very good little bridge button connector snap. I don't even know what to call it. I just think
Yeah.
it's really well done. So,
Did you guys notice more action? There was definitely more action. I mean,
the truck scene definitely went on for a while.
yeah.
I liked it, and I was really interested in watching what was going on in the background because it kept shifting. You would sometimes see in the background of the truck scene what looked like the Warner Brothers buildings.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then sometimes you'd see like a little white picket fence house, and I'm like, are they on Wisteria Lane? What's happening here? And then other times you just see like grass with a random taxi being like, wee. They sold it, but don't go over that too closely with a fine-tooth comb because there's something
Yeah.
there's some
It's definitely
inconsistencies happening. But it's a good
different backlot
scene.
streets.
Yeah,
But
just
yeah,
spliced.
but I know that they had said that they were just refocusing and having more action, and it definitely did. I mean, they had the flying scene in the beginning, saving the construction
Mm,
worker.
Hmm.
There was more Superman for sure in this
mm.
episode.
There was a lot of Superman in this one.
So Julie, we wanted to know, you do own the script for this episode. Will you tell us what are the dates that you have on that script? When was this filmed? We want to know.
The date on my script says July 27, 1994, and July 29, 1994, because I have two. So
Was
it
there
would be a
anything
couple
else?
months before
Was there anything
the
else from the
air.
scripts that you wanted to tell us about? Any other things that got left out?
I don't think there was a whole lot. There was part of this, when Lois is kicking the can outside, like, and Clark is like, is something bothering you or whatever? And she does the kind of impression of Arianna. Lois is mocking basically Arianna, and Clark says, "Do you do Roseanne?" Like, like an impression. Like what? So I'm glad they took that out because that was kind of stupid. There's not a whole lot that's interesting, really. Lois commenting, could a patient be so unhappy with their tummy tuck they'd kill their doctor? The quick healer quote was not in the script, so that must
Okay.
have been an ad. Gretchen Kelly was supposed to have red hair, so that didn't happen. The phone book scene was completely not in my script. And apparently Lex and Ariana's wedding was supposed to be 15 years, not 10. So they changed that.
That would have made more sense, except then poor Ariana would have been like 19 years old or something.
Yeah,
Not that that's not
I think that's probably why, just based on
plausible.
age. And they were like, we should probably make this 10, not 15.
What I find strange is that now I know this is later and it hasn't happened yet, and so they didn't have any idea. But later on in the series, we do find out that Lex had a couple of kids with various women. And one of them, the Jackson Xavier, who we learn about in season 3, Lois knew about him. Lex told her about this guy. So, and
Yeah.
but he didn't tell her about Arianna Carlin, which, okay. So that's an interesting thing to, give that information and then not this other. I don't know.
Did we find out how long they were married? I don't think
Uh-uh.
they mentioned it in the episode. Like,
No,
was
because
it
she says
a
because
month,
she's
2 years? Like,
no, because she tells the doctor, I haven't been Ariana Carlin 10 years. So like it was like the world's shortest wedding, apparently,
yeah,
or
it
marriage.
must have been. They were
Marriage.
married for a very short time. Interesting.
All right, Jen, will you please tell us your choice for the most bonkers excuse Clark uses in this episode?
Well, there were a couple of good ones. The one where Clark was late getting in this morning and he blames it on and then a problem dropped on me.
Mhm.
That was a good one. I think I'm gonna go with when he said that this guy from the alleyway got tired because it's so good.
Yes.
It's so dangerous. At least you got puns, man. You're funny.
It's funny though.
It's something.
It is
It's something.
it is a thing that he did and said. So no, but it was good though. I thought it was funny.
So my new feature this season is Clark forgot to use his fill in the blank here. Today, in this episode, Madam X, Clark forgot to use his empathy tool. Because, first, throwing a tire on this poor guy, number one. Number two, laughing when Papuli says no much prettier. And three, and for this, I will show you a little something right here. Watch very carefully. There's Clark. This is from the pilot.
I know where you're going here. I know exactly what's going to happen. Uh-huh. He stuck his finger in the coin return in
12
his
minutes
really
and
crappy
40
apartment.
seconds.
Oh my gosh.
So, yes, Clark forgot to use his empathy tool in this episode several times.
Well, he wasn't a well-paid reporter yet, right? He didn't have the job at the Planet, so he had
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
But
you
it's
should only do
true.
that if you're poor
Don't
and
judge.
unemployed.
Clark.
That was his reason for telling Lois she had a good
Yeah.
job.
If it's
At this
a
point, he has
habit-
no job, so
Yeah.
he could use every penny.
Okay.
It's funny. I didn't even think about that.
That's funny.
All right, Jen, were there any furry, fuzzy, or feathery, or scaled critters in this episode?
Yeah, there were fish, angelfish, lots of fish. I don't know the names of the fish, but there were lots of them in the little fish tank in the penthouse. So yes, I did not count them, but yes, there were. Hooray, animals. I tried to look when there was the car chase scene because they were going down the streets and people were, I thought, oh, maybe they're going to throw in a dog, but no, they didn't. So, but the fish were there.
They almost got lasered.
Still rolling?
Julie, were there any goofs or bloopers in this episode besides the ones we've already mentioned?
None at all.
You always
Yes, there
say
were.
that and then you surprise us.
There's always a blooper. We already mentioned, or you already mentioned, the paint. Clark, takes the paintbrush from his dad and paints the barn. There's no paint on the brush. There's nothing coming onto the barn. Why did you even attempt to do that? Let's see. This one, I'll let you guys decide if this is a goof. So for Arianna's column, Perry makes a comment early on that he doesn't read it, which is good because we don't want him to be against Superman. However, he's the editor. Shouldn't he have been reading her column?
It's syndicated, so she probably has her own editor. It's completely polished by the time it gets to the Daily Planet because she doesn't work for
And
the
then it
Daily
just
Planet
gets
in that
put-
capacity.
Okay, I guess that could make sense.
And even though they don't show them, a real newspaper would have a bunch of other editors,
right,
that Perry could have delegated these jobs to. Of course, on our show we have exactly one, but
that's true. He could have just been like, I don't want to read this. Somebody else do it. One of the exterior shots of the planet, you'll see a guy walking into it. He's carrying a shopping bag. If you look closely, you'll see that it is Christmas. And on the side of the building, the windows are also decorated Christmas theme. So they clearly swiped this from a different episode. I'm guessing Witness.
Yeah.
Witness.
I was like, oh, it's Christmas again. There we go. Don't
Wow.
look too closely.
The Christmas episode we didn't know about. Yay!
Secret Christmas.
Yeah, now we have another Christmas episode. Okay, this one I always think is funny. So, the photo album that the captain pulls out, he shows a wedding photo of Lex and AC Luthor. If you know, do you know what I'm going to say? Jen is shaking her head.
Did they put her face over somebody else?
It is
Terry's.
It is the promo shot of Lex and Lois's wedding. So it is a photo of Lex and Lois's wedding, and they just put Arianna's face right on top. So if you look closely, you'll see that
Lex didn't look a darn
completely
year
Lois.
younger.
No, it is
10 years
completely
ago.
Lois with Ariana's face.
That's so funny. I didn't look
Good job,
closely though.
guys.
Is that the same dress that
It is the
Lois
same
was?
dress.
See?
Yes. Same dress and everything. They just
Wow.
put her face on it.
You know.
That is lazy. I can't when Lois sees that. That's my dress.
It makes me laugh every time. I'm like, that is hilarious. And I'm like, maybe it was all fake. Maybe Ariana's just crazy and there never was a wedding.
Maybe not.
She just photoshopped her face on there and said
And
she
she
got
convinced
married
this-
and put
She
it in the
convinced
paper.
this guy who's actually is senile that he married them back in the day and like set everything up.
Yes.
It could happen.
Yeah.
And it's like mirrored. Because isn't she on the other side?
It's mirrored. Yeah, they mirrored the photo.
Yeah. And then they
But
just
yeah,
put
it's the
her
same
head
exact
on.
dress, flowers, everything. It's just
No
Ariana's
wonder
face.
Ariana's pissed. I would
Yeah.
gosh.
That's my dress. Those are my flowers.
Rude. Those are the really big ones. There's a couple other small ones. Like there's a Suzuki Samurai that drives past in the phone booth scene, drives down the road and drives the other direction. So you see it twice. There's the candy bar scene where she buys the whole box. The guy sets the box down twice, and the close-up is the candy bars are in the wrong direction. So there's a little mismatch there, but that's it. That's all that I've noticed.
Wow.
Nitty gritty there.
Julia's watching this with like the magnifying glass like this.
I do. Well, you saw him put it down twice, which is, I noticed that first, and then I watched it again, and I was like, oh, the candy bars are going, vertical, and then they're horizontal. Whatever. Different box for a different close-up.
Wow.
Oh,
You need to work on set and do some
Yeah, when you're
What are those
filming your
people called?
close-ups, make sure it looks the same as what the scene looks like, guys. Come on.
yeah.
don't use man hands. We've already decided.
Yeah, don't use man hands. And maybe don't use an external shot from Christmas.
Maybe not.
there
Maybe
should
not.
be plenty of external shots.
Literally no one else has noticed this in 30 years except for you.
I'm sure nobody's noticed but me, probably. I notice everything. That's it.
Okay, well, I'm here to talk about some real life people, places, or things in this episode, and there weren't a whole lot. Arianna Carlin's last name is probably a reference to Mike Carlin, who we've mentioned before, Superman legend. We got a mention of the Caribbean, the Bermuda Triangle, and Perry said Great Shades of Elvis one time. Clark and Lois were using different phone books to find Dr. Heller's address. So in case people don't know what yellow pages and white pages are, yellow pages are, of course, they don't do these anymore really, but back in the day in the 90s, the yellow pages was a phone book that had usually businesses grouped by type. So you'd have the plumbers here and you'd have the taxi services next, and they'd have ads and you'd be looking for a specific type and you could pick who you wanted. And then the white pages usually had residential, but also businesses could be in there, but they'd be listed alphabetically rather than by their type of business. So when the page was ripped out of the yellow pages, that's why they could also find his name in the white pages, because it's just a different type of book. R.I.P. to phone books.
Now you just Google.
But don't rip phone books though. R.I.P. but not rip. Please don't.
So yeah, those are the only ones I found. So if you guys noticed any others, double fudge crunch bars we do not think are actual in real life.
No, but I want one.
I know they look good.
Yeah, to me, I've always thought it was like a more chocolatey version of like a whatchamacallit, because like a whatchamacallit
Ooh, I
has
love
that
whatchamacallits.
crunch.
I've never had a whatchamacallit.
Oh my gosh, I love whatchamacallits.
That's how I always picture it. Double fudge crunch bar. Whatchamacallit with extra fudge.
Ooh,
Okay. I would eat that.
I want to try one. Okay, we need to have when we're adding this to the list. We got to get a whatchamacallit.
And I'll make the paper wrapper. We can put it on top.
Double fudge crunch bars.
Yeah, and we'll have to get some Clark bars too if they still make
Oh
them.
yeah.
They still make them.
Yeah. Well, the time has come for us to rate the episode. On a scale from A+ to F-, how do you rank Madam X, Jen?
Well, this was a good, solid episode. I love that it got renewed for a second season. Justin Whalen has entered the chat. This makes me very happy. It has a new, like, somewhat lighter look to it. Lois's hair is gorgeous, and I love her outfits too. They're keeping Lex in the realm of the storyline by keeping his body on ice, which is genius. As for the plot for this specific episode, it is not a favorite of mine, but it's fine. Arianna, or as I call her, Arianna Carlin, was a good character, but she's no Trask or Tempest for me. But she's a hell of a lot better than Mr. Makeup. So I'm between a B and a B minus. I feel like I'm gonna go out of my box and just be a little more hard on this episode. I think I'm gonna go with a B minus.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, if I don't know how you guys are doing it, if you're kind of comparing them against season 1 as well, and kind of, or if you're just like, I'm starting fresh and I'm just considering season 2. It doesn't matter how you want to do it. It's like no wrong way, but so I've always had a fondness for this episode. Like I said earlier, this was the first new episode that aired after I'm a fan of Lois and Clark, and I was so excited, and I rewatched this one over and over. I have to agree, the plot's fine. Teri Hatcher and Lois, it's there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of funny lines. She really into just her character in this episode. She's funny, she's great. But in terms of how it compares to other episodes, there's something missing, which I can't really pinpoint. So for me, I'm giving it a B plus.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm gonna say that I think we're pretty much all on the same line here. I like this episode. It's not one that I skip, but it's not one that I go to, if that makes sense. It's not one that I go, oh, I'm gonna watch a second season episode. I don't ever put this one in, but I wouldn't skip it. It's good. It's just okay. Like Molly said, there's something missing. I also don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just too much Superman, maybe. Maybe it's the new Jimmy. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but I also gave it a B. So what do we have? A B plus, and a B minus?
A B,
So we're at a B.
average. Yeah, we're at a B, which I think is fair.
I think it's fair.
Weird that I'm
It's
the
good.
one that gave it the lowest rating. This is a first for this podcast, I think.
Yeah. If you had asked me, a few weeks ago, just based off of like, how would you rate these? I'd be like, okay, A, Chi of Steel, C, A,
Yeah.
C, A. But I do want to give some, not
Yeah.
just give every episode I like an A and every episode I don't like a C or
Yeah.
a D. I just kind of want to.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So cool. Well, today we're talking about promos, specifically the much beloved Next Week On promos.
Next week on Lois and Clark.
So after every Lois and Clark episode, there'd be a couple of commercials, and then here would come the promo, a 30-second preview of the next episode. The announcer would say something like, in 1 week on Lois and Clark. And we would get clips, we would get a description from this narrator guy, and we would get excited about the episode. Now, as we were waiting for it to come on, we never knew if it would be a brand new episode they were about to tell us about, or if it was going to be like, oh, we're having a rerun. Okay, cool. But what really mattered was, is it going to be on next Sunday, or are they going to make us do that wait 2 to 3 weeks nonsense that they tried to do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd get so mad when it was 2 or 3 weeks.
I
So
know.
mad. Oh, they did that a lot in second season, I feel.
Maybe. I don't remember it as much in season 2 as in, well, season 4 is a whole new thing, but
Yeah, season 4 for sure.
sometimes they'd show just enough in the promo to get you very excited or very nervous about the next episode. I specifically remember how we were just going bananas when we saw the preview for Tempest Fugitive, because Lois
Yes.
finds out Clark is Superman. We're like,
Yes.
it's finally happened! Yay! our parents are like, they're probably going to be like, it was all a dream or something. We're like, no, they would never. It's going to
They would
happen.
never do that to us. Yeah.
Another one that I have a couple that were really memorable to me. One was the Return of the Prankster, because in that promo, they show Superman getting frozen and then Superman getting pushed off the balcony and landing there on the ground frozen. And then they show Lois getting pushed off the balcony. And my brother and I spent the whole week just going like, how are they going to get out of this? How is he going to save her? He can't. He's frozen. Like, what? No.
Oh no.
Yes. Another one that was only kind of funny because of how it was presented was the promo for Wall of Sound, which is our next episode, and we'll probably put a promo at the end of this, because when the promo itself has a part where Lenny Stoke is saying she only has 5 seconds to live, and he counts down, but he says 4, the number 4, really softly, and because of the music and all this stuff going on, you don't really hear it. So it sounds like he's going, she only has 5 seconds to live. 3. It just burns out the number 3. And we would quote that.
Oh, funny.
3.
3, 2, 1.
I don't even. But that was one of the memorable ones. Do you guys have any memorable ones that?
The one for Phoenix, the Phoenix. I remember that preview being so excited about it.
Oh my God. I remember that one too. Yeah.
Don't they have Lois being like, Clark, what are you waiting for? In like a sexy voice,
Yes.
even though that's from his dream.
It was the Clark, what are you waiting for? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. Yeah, and that was a dream. Come on now. Get us all excited for nothing.
I definitely remember Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
The season 2 finale too was another one that I was like, how is this gonna end? And
yeah, that was the
feel like
famous
there was-
Lois, will you? And then like thunder and lightning crashing. Hey, what?
Yeah.
So throughout most of season 2, and this didn't really, I don't think this went on into season 3, but through season 2 at least, if someone even semi-famous was going to appear in the episode, then the announcer would put that in the promo. So Bronson Pinchot guest stars, Cindy Williams guest stars. This seemed to be mostly to get our parents interested in tuning in, because I didn't always know who these people were. I was learning about them for the first time. I remember for Church in Metropolis, it was like Peter Boyle and Bruce Weitz, and I'm like, okay, they're guest stars. But that would bring you in. Of course, some of them were really exciting, and we have Raquel Welch coming up, and Leslie Jordan's coming back. Although, remember if they used his name in the promo? I remember Peter Scolari,
think so.
Emma
I don't think he
Samms,
was as big.
Bronson Pinchot, the 2 that I just mentioned, William Devane, Sherman Hemsley, Isabel Sanford, Raquel Welch. And I feel like Michelle Phillips got a mention for Target Jimmy Olsen, but then they stopped doing that. And they also kind of stopped stunt casting. Oh, no, they didn't.
Well,
I was going to say, okay, there was a couple, but
there's one in there.
Yeah, the Lakes. Oh, and Shelley Long. Okay, so you're right. I think it went into season 3 as well.
Yeah.
Now, sadly, they stopped doing the next week on promos in very early season 4. One of the many things they stopped doing.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't have any effect on anything, would it? We are not bitter.
Not at
Just
all.
a little.
But we chose to mention
everything they did in 4th season pissed me off.
The whole 4th season. That's a whole other subject.
Everything.
But we have a few of these promos to show you. Actually, pretty much every episode that we've put out so far, I think we've posted a next week on promo for whatever episode we're doing. So you can check our Instagram for those. And there, for some of the ones in season 2, there's actually 2 versions. One for when the episode originally aired and one for when it reran. And there's one in particular that the 2 are quite different. I think it might be individual responsibility. They're so different. It's like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, we're going to continue to share those and hope that you enjoy them as much as we did back in 1994. Thank you so much to everyone for listening today. Our next episode, if you're following along, is Season 2, Episode 2, Wall of Sound.
Listen up, Metropolis. It's the sound. A deranged musician brings the city to its knees. I intend to topple all the buildings one by one. With a deadly wall of sound. This is an ultra-high frequency melting that metallically dense nervous system of yours.
Wow.
Now, Lois has to go undercover to short-circuit him.
What was your name again, darling?
Until he pulls the plug on her.
She only has 5 seconds to live. 3.
An all-new Lois and Clark, next Sunday here on ABC.
And until next time, remember, never argue with a woman who's just been behind bars. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Facebook as Folks Forever. That's FOLCS FOREVER. Or you can visit our website at folksforeverpod.wixsite.com/podcast.
I want a double fudge crunch bar. That sounds delicious.